Now, over the course of the past couple of years, we've seen a very interesting tide. First, Bob Iger got fired back in 2020. He was replaced by Bob Chapek, and then vice versa, just a couple of weeks ago, pretty much a month ago at this point, where Bob Iger came back on board. The Disney board members fired Chapek. They tried to get somebody else. They couldn't find anybody, and so they resorted to Bob Iger. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, the thing about Bob Iger that a lot of fans have had issues with is that, let's not forget, that this is the guy that was in charge of the sequel trilogy movies, and how when The Last Jedi came out and Solo underperformed, he blamed it on a frequency issue. He blamed it on the fans basically getting tired of Star Wars, and that really was not the case. A lot of fans will say that it performed very bad because it released in May. I don't think that was the reason at all. I think that there were just a lot of fans that either A, it could have been a mixture of two things. A, did not have a full interest in a Han Solo film, and B, were very annoyed with what happened with The Last Jedi. So, overall, I think it was an entertaining movie, but when it comes down to Bob Iger, alright, he's been a lot more talkative throughout the entire fall of this year, and everything related to the franchise getting rebuilt, hiring John and Dave, and really just kind of giving us a different era of the franchise. So recently, Bob Iger had to apologize for a couple of things and really put it forward to the fans about how Disney is changing and how they are going to be handling Disney Star Wars in a totally different light. And you're already going to see this take place in 2023. So with Disney and Lucasfilm focusing on new Star Wars shows and films as of now in order to expand the roadmap of the franchise, it's noted that Disney CEO Bob Iger has been hard at work on reforming the Star Wars franchise and is making every attempt to make it just as exciting as ever before. In a recent interview Iger gave, he went on to apologize to the fans and the entire fandom by stating the following: "There is no doubt that what happened over the course of the last couple of years since 2017, that we got great criticism with our brand. We realized that Star Wars is a very well-cherished and respected franchise among the fans, and so we here at Disney are doing everything in our power in order to reserve what George created for us and has given us the opportunity. I want to say to everyone that we do apologize if we were off track with this brand. As always appealing to different demographics, it's always going to make us make difficult choices and decisions, and sometimes the choices that we make aren't the best ones for business and or for the customer." Now, I want to just pause here quick. Now, the thing about these apologies, Kathleen Kennedy has given them, Bob Chapek, the other CEO that got fired, has given them. You always question yourself, and it's a totally normal and natural thing to question yourself this. Is this genuine? Is this genuine, or is there some kind of ulterior motive, right? That's the biggest question of all that runs through people's minds, and I think the answer here is that, number one, it's coming out of desperation. Number two, it's coming out of being very frightened about what's going to happen with Disney as a company. They want to make sure that essentially they can perfect Marvel, Star Wars, and more. Marvel Phase 5 is said to be a completely different experience than Phase 4, which kind of fell flat in some areas. Same exact scenario with Star Wars, and beginning with TV shows, right? A lot of it has been hit and miss for fans. And so John and Dave are making sure that it's going to be more of a hit scenario, having all these successes in a row. So on top of this, guys, alright, Bob Iger really putting it out there that Disney and the board is apologizing about what has been happening with the franchise over the past couple of years, what's been going on with the Star Wars universe, and how Disney treated it from 2015 until 2019. Now, like I've said many times before, the sequel trilogy is a very funny thing. It's a trilogy where I don't necessarily hate it through and through. I like bits and pieces. Let's be clear, I like certain scenes that come out of this trilogy, but watching the movies from start to finish, they're absolutely in no way as engaging, not even close, at least to me, than the prequels, let alone the originals. You know, there's just something missing in all those films that kind of breaks things apart. And I think a lot of it has to do with some inauthentic characters, poor writing skills at certain points in the scripts here and there, and that's just the beginning. But anyways, back on track to what Bob Iger had to say. So he goes on to state this: "We are going to be working on a resolution with this franchise by upping budgets for our shows and future films and hiring experienced talent that will handle the brand with great care. We are going to be keeping a close eye on fans and listening to what the majority are asking for to be done in order to satisfy the most amount of fans. I'm sorry if I took us this long to even get to this point, but 2023 is going to be a very productive year, and we are looking forward to rewriting some of our mistakes that we made with the franchise. Myself and the board have already talked this over very well." Now, the other thing that I do want to touch on that a lot of fans may not know about is that Disney as a company, alright, right now, they really have to shape up, especially with the parks and especially with Disney Plus raising their annual fee to, what was it, $119? And I think prior to that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 80 something. So that is quite a significant jump, if that is serving my memory correct there. And a lot of fans have been a little, standoffish about that. $119 a year, for a streaming service that's Disney. I could understand, if it had a lot more alternate content on there. But I think that 119 is really reaching it. They should have kept it as is, and just maybe if they really wanted to, raise it maybe $2, $3, and then just have that amount add up. I don't know why they had to raise it by $119. There was no reason to. And so hopefully Bob Iger is going to also right the wrongs of that and really kind of reverse that annual fee. So overall, there's a lot of things happening too with Kathleen Kennedy. They're trying to get a new Lucasfilm president to replace her. Again, like I said many times, Ron Howard is the top of the roster. And then below that, the other candidate is David Heyman, the guy who really, made the Harry Potter films possible. And so if he doesn't work out, there are a couple of other candidates that are currently unknown. We're not quite sure who they are just yet, but they do have them in the back of their mind, and all, of course, written into the strategy. So it's going to be a very interesting year for 2023 with a lot of high quality shows coming our way. We got Bad Batch 2, fun animated series. We got Mando 3, which is said to have a lot of fun in there. And Ahsoka, which is going to be a completely different experience. They're claiming that this is going to be the home run of Star Wars TV shows, completely outperforming Mando, Boba, Kenobi, and all of those all put together in one. That's how big Ahsoka is said to be. It's very high budget, it's going to have a lot of big moments and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.